Presentation from News Channel Nebraska. NCN Sports is presented by Currency. Visit gocurrency.com for more details. By Liberty First Credit Union. Find out more at libertyfirstcu.com. And by Tom Dinsdale Automotive. Find us on the web at dinsdaleauto.com.
Welcome to Lincoln, Nebraska, Seacrest Field, the site of the Heartland Athletic Conference Tournament Championship. Brandon Axmith, Elijah Mosier with you. Girls final, and it's going to be two familiar foes. Lincoln Pius the 10th taking on Lincoln East, playing for the hardware on a crisp Thursday evening in the capital city. This matchup is brought to you by Nebraska Public Power District, always there when you need them. And Elijah, looking forward to what we have in store for us this evening. You look at how these two teams got here. First off, for Pius, handing Lincoln Southwest its first loss of the season. It was an interesting scenario how that semifinal got played, but ultimately downing the top-ranked Silverhawks 1-0 in overtime to make it to this game. For Lincoln East, they defeated Columbus in the semifinals by a score of 1-0 as well.
Yeah, these are four of the top teams here. They deserve to be in the gold pool, and we have seen two teams deserve to make it to this championship game. They played in the first game of the season, and that game went to overtime. So we could be seeing a very similar aspect to tonight's ball game.
To that point, yes, these two teams met game one, and that was a 3-1 victory for the Spartans in overtime. And since that point, Lincoln East, they've only dropped one to Lincoln Southwest. Otherwise, they're 10-1 on the season. Pius 9-2, that one loss to East to start the season, and also a loss to Lincoln Southwest, which they avenged in the semifinals. Let's take a look at some key players that you need to know. First off, for the Thunderbolts, Emily Krings. When you're in double-digit goals, you're doing things pretty well. She's a center attacking mid, and she has 10 to her tally. Just a sophomore, and she's pretty much the straw that stirs the drink for Pius.
And she does that all while being that center attacking midfielder for the Thunderbolts. Oftentimes you hear about that it's the striker that gets it done. Well, in this 4-5-1 for Pius, it's their center attacking midfielder getting it done in Emily Krings.
Flip side for the Spartans, it is their talisman up top. One of two very talented strikers, but McKinley Cade, she's leading this front line. 12 goals. On top of that, 7 assists for the junior. She's going to be trying to cause this Pius backline issues all evening.
Yeah, I've seen McKinley Cade play in person this season, and it is impressive what she can do. Do not give her open space or she'll make you pay tonight. It'll be very interesting to see how Pius decides how to defend Cade, because I've seen some different choices on how to do it, but Cade will be very important to how this game gets played out.
5 minutes until the Heartland Athletic Conference Championship here in the capital city. Local rivals square off on News Channel Nebraska. We'll be back.
The pregame show is sponsored by Custom Sports. Look great for every game with custom team or business apparel from Custom Sports.
Liberty First Credit Union. It's for you. Do you live in Nebraska or the surrounding states? Then it's for you. Want to earn cash back on your transactions? Then it's for you. Are you ready to start banking with purpose? Then Liberty First Credit Union? It's for you. We're not your typical credit union. We support you with personalized banking that's open to everyone. Start banking with purpose at Liberty First Credit Union. We're for you.
NCN Sports is brought to you by Currency. Visit gocurrency.com for details. By Central Nebraska Orthopedics, dedicated to the motion of life. And by Region 4 Behavioral Health, quality mental health and substance abuse services.
Woodhouse GMC is bringing you more. With every new GMC purchase from Woodhouse, we're including 3 years of scheduled maintenance. Plus, with our current lease offers going on now, you'll save even more. Woodhouse GMC, we are professional grade.
At first, I was really nervous and intimidated to buy a ring.
My experience at Starter Heyman was very easy. I felt like I walked out with the ring that was going to make her go wow and say yes.
I love my ring. It is so beautiful. I get compliments on it all the time. I always tell them Starter Heyman. I love it. Yeah, we would definitely recommend Starter Heyman.
We're definitely coming back. Sure.
We have a wedding band to buy. So.
We do, yes. We have a wedding band, so we'll be back for that.
Starter Heyman Jewelers, downtown 12th and O, South Point Pavilions, and Grand Island.
We are less than 3 minutes to kick here in Seacrest for the Heartland Athletic Conference Girls Championship. Let's take a look at our school spotlight, brought to you by Currency. Does your business need financing for equipment, trucks, or trailers? All you need is Currency. Visit gocurrency.com. First off, for Lincoln East, on the east side of the capital city in Lancaster County, enrollment 1,631. 2 state titles, 20 and 2005. They also have 2 runners-up in 03 and 06. Very proud soccer program in the capital city, separated by about a mile from Lincoln Pius. They call this, Elijah, also the battle for A Street. These 2 programs play each other and know each other well. So when you look at this Pius team, also in the capital city, just down the road, about 70th in A for Lincoln East, about 62nd-ish and A for Pius. Enrollment a little bit of a difference. Pius nearly twice as many, but interesting also, Elijah. So Pius with 2 championships in 04 and 05, just like Lincoln East, and also it's 2 runners-up in 03 and 06, just like Lincoln East. It's just East was Class A those years, Pius Class B.
And Pius is going back to Class B after this year. This is Pius's last chance to claim a HAC title for at least a few years while they go back down to B. And so that's another interesting development to this game. It's a rivalry matchup, but one of these things that these teams both have in common is they don't like Lincoln Southwest. Lincoln Southwest commonly ends their seasons when it comes to the playoffs. It happened last year at Morrison Stadium, but now they're out of the way. So now it's between East and Pius, and they get to duke it out. It's going to be lots of fun.
We are about a minute away, pausing for the national anthem. We'll take one more break and be ready for soccer here in the capital city. The Heartland Athletic Conference Championship coming your way on News Channel Nebraska.
Does your business need quick, competitive financing for heavy machinery, trucks, or other equipment? Currency is here to help. Whether you're financing construction equipment, farm equipment, trucks, trailers, or any other big-ticket item, Currency will automatically find the best rates. Currency facilitates loans for up to $500,000 with repayment terms up to 72 months. It's fast, easy, and free to use. Visit gocurrency.com and apply today.
Building innovation, creating opportunity. That's the Superior way. Superior Industries of Columbus is a key player in forming the world's infrastructure. Their innovative equipment is used to build roads, hospitals, utilities, and other fundamental systems. But it's their culture that encourages bold ideas, creating new opportunities for people like you. And they want you on their team. Visit workatsuperior.com to learn more about opportunities available. Positions that include weekly pay, complete benefits package, on-the-spot bonuses for exceptional work, and a fun working atmosphere. Working with the most advanced equipment and technology you can find. Join the Superior team today.
For over 40 years, Claybaugh Pharmacy has been your trusted, family-owned, full-service pharmacy. We provide traditional medical options, medical equipment, immunizations, and over-the-counter products. We take pride in going above and beyond to improve the health of our community. And to ensure you have a seamless experience, manage your profile and refills with a touch of the finger from home. Claybaugh Pharmacy in downtown Beatrice, your hometown family-owned pharmacy.
NCN Sports is brought to you by Husker Rehab, treating the cause of the pain, not just the symptoms. By Schaefer's, we are more than just TVs and appliances. And by Claybaugh Pharmacy, your locally owned hometown pharmacy.
If you're thinking about becoming a John Deere technician, receive a debt-free degree from Landmark Implement. With the John Deere Student Tech Program, receive reimbursement for up to 100% of college tuition, fees, books, and room and board, plus a $5,000 tool stipend. Students are paid a competitive hourly wage for their work hours and are guaranteed employment at a Landmark location after graduation. Visit landmark.careers to find out more about the John Deere Student Tech Program and become part of the Landmark difference.
was given a prescription opioid pain medication that lasted a lot longer than the pain itself. And within only a few months, I was completely addicted. I lost everything. And I started to watch my life slip away. These drugs are addictive. One prescription can be all it takes to lose everything.
Moments away from the Girls Heartland Athletic Conference Tournament Championship here on NCN. Let's take a look at the starting 11 for these programs. First off for the Spartans, 3-5-2. This plays to the strengths of their defensive personnel, according to Coach Emily Matthews. Made the switch this year. You have the center backs of Bingham, Ryder, and Eilers. Ella, twin sister of keeper Emma. And you have 5 midfielders, Nachi, Waite, Burhoop, Giles, and Ross. You see those 2 outside mids? They are the tracksters, Elijah, that will be playing offensive duties and also defensive duties, running up and down the pitch. You have Cade and Eggett, 2 very strong forwards up top.
Yeah, very strong lineup. And that 3-5-2 is not a common formation, and it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. But let's look at the starting lineup for the Thunderbolts.
Bolts also a little bit untraditional, a 4-5-1. Stoiter and Colm, the center backs, Thompson, Stewart, the fullbacks. You have a 3 midfield triangle of Krings, Hodge, and Diedrich, the wings of Vacek and Himes, and then Genevieve Savern, the lone striker up top who has 3 goals to her name.
And a 4-5-1, a little slightly more traditional. That's more commonly known as a 4-2-3-1 in common practice, but interested to see how that plays out. But we're underway for the championship.
Glad you're with us. Local rivals. It's not only the battle for A Street as it commonly is when these 2 programs get together. There's also hardware of the Heartland Athletic Conference Tournament at stake. Glad you're with us. Brandon Axmit and Elijah Mosier here on News Channel Nebraska. The Spartans 10-1 on the season. Their lone defeat coming to Lincoln Southwest, the top team in the state. That back on March 28th. You look at Pius, 2 losses, as we mentioned in the pre-match show. First game of the season, these 2 teams met. It was a 3-1 defeat. Spartans got the better of Pius in overtime. Their only other loss, like East, coming to Lincoln Southwest on April 4th. But Pius, 1-0 victors over Lincoln Southwest. And, you know, you always have weather to deal with, Elijah, spring sports in Nebraska, and that has been no difference in wreaking havoc in terms of the structure of the HAC tournament. So the boys' game and the boys' semis were technically supposed to start Wednesday. That got moved back, or no, it was supposed to start Monday, then the final is supposed to be Wednesday. It's now moved back 48 hours, so the semifinals for the boys were played Wednesday. The championship is now Friday. How that's connected to the girls' game is you had Pius taking on Lincoln Southwest on Tuesday. They only got 15 minutes in before there was a thunderstorm delay, and after waiting around for a couple of hours, it was determined that the match would continue Wednesday morning at 9 a.m.
Yeah, and that's a part to do with also having 2 matches at night at this field. And so, just unfortunately that the Silver Pool games were taking place in the semis that night.
And so it was 0-0 at that 15-minute intermission, but you resume the game at 9 a.m. Coach Anderson said his Pius team was super, super disappointed that they got out of school or had to leave school to finish playing the game. But they played the game, and ultimately it was a free kick goal by Jocelyn Stoiter, in overtime. Her first goal of the season, a freshman defender, that proved to be the difference and handed Lincoln Southwest its first loss of the season, allowing Pius to get here.
Yeah, sometimes it's just those breaks that you catch whenever you're such an even team. Pius, East, and Southwest are all right there with Omaha Marion as the top teams vying for that Class A title this year. It's likely not going to be Gretna in that championship match unless they have a hot run late. And so it's really fun to watch all these teams play together because they're oh so close in talent.
You mentioned Gretna, the perennial power, obviously playing a part in that is there's now Gretna East, and a lot of good soccer players now with that program from that city.
Sonora Defini, to name one of them, leading goal scorer in the state when it comes to girls soccer. They are just an electric powerhouse. I believe they even beat Marion for the Metro title just a couple weeks ago.
So Pius with the ball here in the opening minutes. Chance to swing across in. Dangerous ball. Goes all the way through.
And see, that's exactly what Pius wants. They're playing through their wings.
There's a good shot right on target, though. Makes an easy save for Eilers. So you have your first official shot on target by the Bolts. This first half, it's brought to you by John Henry's, Our Family Serving Yours. John Henry's our first half sponsor here on NCN as we have our first foul of the match. Free kick awarded to Pius.
And this is what you don't want. That wind, at least in the third place game, was blowing towards this side, and it is at Lincoln Pius's attempts back. And so this could very well blow inside the box.
56 degrees here in East Lincoln at kickoff as this one nicks off that top of the goal. I believe it was after the crossbar on one of those back posts. Still, though, you saw with the intent from the free kick to try to put it on frame.
Yeah, I think Wynn got a little bit more on that than they would have liked, but solid opportunity early on, and they are dominating the opportunities in the first 5 minutes of this game.
Yeah, so far East hasn't really gotten in its own attacking half yet. Pius very much out on the front foot. And that'll go out for a goal kick. Interesting, too, the history of the Heartland Athletic Conference soccer tournament. It used to be, several years ago now, that it was just one big tournament that every team in the conference played in. Have to go back to the specific history books, but there was either a 2, 3, or 4 year hiatus somewhere in there where the tournament wasn't played at all. It became sort of too difficult to coordinate and have a week-long tournament in the middle / towards the end of the season with all of the programs, and so it hadn't been played for a number of years until the tournament was brought back last year. And it was brought back last year with a new format that instead of having a one big bracket with 12 teams, there's 4 or 3 divisions of 4 teams. So if you are one of the top 4 teams in power points when the cutoff is made to determine the bracket, you go to the gold division, which is what this is. The gold division allows you to play for the ultimate title of the tournament. The next 4 teams go into the silver division, and the bottom 4 go into the bronze. As we have a dangerous corner sent in, it goes off the top and out of play. But it's interesting how the format has changed, and you have to tip your hat to the administrators and schools who got together and said this makes more sense than how we had been doing it in the past.
Yeah, hats off. It's great to see that the championship is back. I would love to see the format expand as we see another look at that corner kick here to where the Metro does find a way to make that full week tournament work. And so I would love to see some of those opportunities because Kearney, who's currently 11-2 on the season, they had to settle for playing for the silver pool, and I'm sure they would have loved to have an opportunity for the actual first place title.
Well, we have another free kick awarded to the Thunderbolts. Very much coming out aggressively here early on. They're a team, when I asked Coach Anderson, what type of style do you try to play with this 4-5-1? Are you possession? Are you, counterattack? Different teams played differently. And he said, we kind of adapt to whatever the other team does, and we'll play to what they give us. So I guess that's a good thing when you have the personnel and players in place that allow you to be that flexible.
Yeah, Pius really likes to take what their opposition gives them. What Lincoln East likes to do is use their speed and go fast.
You saw it there displayed by Kate Eggett. Good cover there on the back line by Colm of Pius, but this is the first time that the Spartans have been in their attacking third. Almost now 8 minutes in.
But Pius is going to challenge that right back. And Lincoln East only has 2 of their center backs right now, as Eilers is trying to trail back.
Yeah, Vocek making the run up the right wing, crosses it in. Not a bad ball. She has some good resources to draw from, Kate Vocek, her sister playing currently for the Huskers.
Always nice when you have that connection.
Now, they didn't have a bad year.
No, they didn't. In the fall, they got past South Dakota State in the first round of the national tournament. South Dakota State, where McKinley Cade of Lincoln East will be headed next year. Well, in a couple of years, I should say. She's just a junior.
So Pius back with possession. Colm trying to work it up. Pass is intercepted by Waite. We talk about East and how always a perennial power in the capital city. Had 12 seniors on their team last year. Majority of them started, and so brought back not a lot in terms of starting experience. 3 starters in total, and Coach Matthews said, while we knew it maybe wasn't going to necessarily be easy, the expectation is the same, and it doesn't change for this program, and it's probably quite a luxury when you can reload after losing 12 seniors and still, nearing the end of the regular season, be sitting here at 10-1.
It's amazing when you can do that. When you lose 12 seniors, whenever you put 11 on a field, this Lincoln East team is just as good, if not better, than this team from last year. And it's kind of impressive to see the turnaround that Emily Matthews has been able to do with her team.
Ten minutes in, 0-0 your score on the Aurora Cooperative scoreboard. Go green with E15 and fill up at your nearest A stop today. Heartland Athletic Conference Tournament Championship between local rivals Lincoln East and Lincoln Pius X. Krings battling in the middle of the pitch with Waite, who comes out on top. Spartans regain possession. Now swung around to Ryder.
And you saw right there, Cade got the touch there the first time, and then Lincoln Pius just all swirled around her. They had 3 on her, made it really tough for Cade to make anything happen. Now Lincoln East is trying to get going again.
Opportunity for the Spartans, but credit to Miller, the sophomore keeper, coming off her line to boot it away. And whenever you get to this point in the season, you're hoping you're finding your best form. You look at these 2 team schedules, just 2 games remaining in the regular season. It'll be concluded next week. The spring soccer season, high school in Nebraska, comes at you very quickly.
It's amazing how fast it's gone. And these teams are still very well, they're not ready for their season to be over. They're both well on their way to Morrison Stadium in Omaha for the state championships, barring any setbacks. But first up, they want to come away with a title tonight.
Cade running at the Pius back line, tries to throw in a shot from distance. We'll see. No, it wasn't deflected, so that'll go out for a goal kick.
And you like to see that. Cade is challenging that Pius defense, trying to get something going for her Spartan squad, as Pius has controlled the first portion of this game. We'll see how this decides and develops and continues along. These teams are very familiar with one another.
Bryn Hirschberger, a freshman midfielder, and Emma Engelman, a senior defender, have substituted on for the Spartans. So we're 13 minutes in. And that's how to play off Pius.
Now here sets up an opportunity for Lincoln East to get going, trying to stabilize some offensive possession.
Abby Dickinson trying to play it into Hymus. And a free kick will be awarded to Lincoln East.
First foul that will go down on Pius to start out this game. Lincoln East has 3 on their end, but opportunity here for Lincoln East to go with it. Looks like they're going to go for a deep approach, try to get that ball to midfield, see if they can sustain possession over there.
Pass intercepted, swung over to Vacek. And a solid defending there by Ross to win it back for Lincoln East.
Both these teams are just so midfield heavy that that's where this ball is being played at. And you're not seeing a lot of moving room, at least from the Spartans' end of things. Now the Thunderbolts have this throw in here.
So Eggett's going to try to charge, gets past one, and looks to release Cade. Taking on multiple defenders, and Pius wins out there.
That's how hard it is to lock her down, and that's kind of the benefit of having that 4-back, having 2 center backs, a left and a right, versus 2 strikers. So as long as Lincoln East isn't pushing that pressure up and it's just those 2 strikers up there, the Bolts are going to have a good chance at shutting down Cade.
That'll be up. Lincoln East throw. Another substitute for the Spartans is Celia Schutz. Sophomore comes on the pitch. Chance to play in Cade. Good defending by Vacek.
That was a beautiful play by Vacek to keep Cade out of there.
Had to make it, or Cade would have been clean through. But, you know, what we saw at the start of this match, it was Pius very much dictating the tempo for about the opening 8 minutes. It was pretty much their attacking half the entire time. East has flipped the script here the past 5 or so minutes and are creating more opportunities for themselves as now Pius looks to counter.
And that's where goals are going to be created out of tonight, the counterattack.
Good cross to Vacek, who's making a run from that back line. Sets up a shot, and that's a good one. A diving save, and off the side netting. Emma Eilers, the sophomore keeper, who is slow to get up but sacrificed everything to keep it out of the back of the net.
What an initial shot, and now we see that follow-up just goes to the side, and just a collision that you don't like to see very often. Obviously, nothing really behind that one, as Pius with the first dangerous opportunity for either team.
And has a great shot. You see Eilers giving the thumbs up to her bench, who are encouraging her after her heroics. Coach Matthew says she has a great combination of strength and speed and plays so big for her size and is extremely confident. We saw it on that occasion.
And we also saw Pius's will to keep that offensive pressure on Lincoln East. The Bolts aren't a team that's willing to give up goals very easily. In their first game of the season, they gave up 3 to Lincoln East. Well, since then, they've only given up 3 goals, and 2 of those came in the 2 games that follow that Lincoln East game. They're not one to give up a goal very easily because they like to put on a lot of offensive pressure.
Eggett gets past 2 Pius defenders, trying to find Cade. And that's good positioning there on the back line for Pius.
So we're going to see Cade throw this in here. Just never really saw that one connect with one of her teammates, as Pius was able to clear that one pretty easily. But now Spartans, what I've seen here more in the second 10-minute span, is that they've been willing to play back to their defensive, to their deep line, and just moving it through. It's a really nice idea to reset occasionally.
Rocek trying to release Dickinson, and just a little bit too much pace on that ball. Goes out of play for a goal kick. Almost halfway through the opening 40 minutes. We're scoreless here in the Girls Heartland Athletic Conference Championship as Pius subs on Josie McCabe, a freshman. Brandon Axmith, Elijah Mosier with you here. Beautiful day in the capital city. And what is the first of 2 nights of championship soccer on News Channel Nebraska. We have this one for you here tonight. Obviously, the Boys Heartland Athletic Conference Championship coming up for you tomorrow night, live from Norfolk. And that'll be live at 6:50 p.m. So all of you soccer fans, hopefully you get to enjoy tonight and tomorrow's broadcast of some of the best soccer in the state.
Gotta love some good soccer. Also saw that Union Omaha advanced to the round of 32 in the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup. Very big win for the soccer community last night. They'll be taking on Sporting KC in the next round.
And for those wondering or who aren't aware about the boys' championship tomorrow, it's Lincoln Southwest, who's pretty much a mainstay, not only in the HAC championship when there's been a tournament, but also in Morrison. They're taking on a newcomer in Norfolk who, I don't know how many people thought that Norfolk would be hosting the gold division of the HAC championship this year, but that is the case, and they dispatched Grand Island 1-0 to make it to the championship.
Not even quite sure how that happened, considering Lincoln Southwest beat Norfolk heading into the HAC tournament. But, hey, Norfolk's hosting, and they have a great opportunity to avenge that loss to the Silverhawks tomorrow night. And Silverhawks still undefeated on the season. They had to overcome a good attempt from Lincoln Southeast to down them yesterday. And so that'll be a very interesting match. Ben Myers has the Panthers off to their best start since 2006, and they have their eyes on Morrison this season. But whenever I had their game a couple weeks ago, they're just saying they're taking it one game at a time, just as all coaches and teams like to say.
Pass intercepted there by the Bolts, and then one back quickly. That's Hirschberger with the interception for the Spartans in the middle of the pitch. But the Spartans weathered the early storm brought by the Thunderbolts in the opening 8 or so minutes as a cross goes in and is cleared away.
And now that we've seen those opening 20 minutes play out, both these teams have set in. They've gotten comfortable with where they're at. But they're going to keep that intensity high, just like you saw right there. Very physical.
And so we have a stoppage. I don't believe this is going to be because of a foul, but there was a contact with the head. So the referee stops play for that as trainers look like they're going to come out.
Anytime the official decides to stop the game for an injury, that player most of the time has to come off, and we're going to get another look at it. But yeah, once again, just another physical play. Oh, she slammed her head pretty hard there on the turf.
That was Genevieve Sovereign, the lone striker in this attack for Pius.
And she might fight to try to stay in there, but it'll be a good idea for her to come off the field and walk it off a little bit. That was a hard hit.
Well, during this break, a reminder that Lincoln High School Sports on News Channel Nebraska is presented by Liberty First Credit Union, banking with purpose. Find out more at libertyfirstcu.com. Also, high school sports are presented by Currency. If your business needs help financing big-ticket items, Currency is here to help. Visit gocurrency.com for details. So good to see that Sovereign's able to walk off the pitch. We'll keep an eye on her and hope for her sake she'll be able to return to match action shortly as we are now back in play. You would say up to this point, Pius has had the best opportunity. An excellent save made by Eilers has kept this game a 0-0 deadlock. Spartans, while they have grown into this match, they haven't yet really put us extremely dangerous or a good chance on target up to this point.
Pius really controlling possession in this game in the first 22 minutes. And they're going to fight for that ball really hard, but that's what's going to happen here. You're going to see a lot of midfield tussling. And so far, that midfield battle has been won by Pius. And we've seen both these teams are in a 3-5-2 and a 4-5-1. And so you got 5 midfielders for each team. And so far, Pius has just had the upper hand.
That ball rolls out of play for another Spartan goal kick. As we have substitutes coming in for both teams. Brooke Thompson for Pius is waved on. And it'll be Elizabeth Burhoop for the Spartans. This will go out for a Pius throw.
And what we've often seen Pius use tonight is they've used their wings. They like to play through the outside portions of the field. And so while they have that 4-back, the left and right back oftentimes can move up and just leave 2 hanging. And that will give them more of an offensive pressure that they can sustain a lot better than maybe Lincoln East can, because they always will keep 3 back.
Another Spartan subs on. It's Bryn Hirschberger re-entering. As we near the 16-minute mark here in the Girls Heartland Athletic Conference Tournament Championship here in Lincoln. And a mishap on that back line. Pius applying pressure to keep possession. Spartans do a nice job recovering.
Coach Williams really likes her 3 strong center backs. She really feels good about them anchoring this back line for the Spartans, and we're seeing them make it a tough for Pius.
Shot not going to trouble Eilers. It is the 4th shot for Pius. They do have 3 on target. East with 1 shot, none on target up to this point. Chance for potentially another shot, but unable to generate enough power on that one. And now up top for Sovereign, who had that last shot, Dickinson, playing that lone striker role for the Bolts.
reminder, Lincoln East is playing into the wind on this during these first 40 minutes, and so that's also had a factor into how this game has played out, at least for the first 25 minutes. But Lincoln East really trying to figure out how to sustain the possession against Lincoln Pius, who have done a really good job at getting people back and packing in the defense.
Real opportunity here as Pius steals a ball. It's a 3-on-2. Excellent opportunity, and that sound Spartan defense with those excellent center backs deal with the danger.
They got behind. They were down on that 3-on-2, but they made the hustle, got back on defense, and just squeezed out that Pius attempt.
"13 minutes to go. 0-0 your score on the Aurora Cooperative scoreboard. Go green with E15 and Phillip at your nearest A stop today.
Those Lincoln East center backs really stepping up for the Spartans. As much as Pius has had the possession number on the day so far.
Lincoln East trying to get back into the game and assert some control. They had a few periods about 10 minutes ago now. Pius, though, has basically sort of reasserted its dominance that it was showing in the opening 8 to 10 minutes. And we have a foul, and it will be a free kick for Pius.
Yeah, we're really seeing both these teams develop and get comfortable, and they've become very even with one another. And so as this game plays out, we'll see if anyone can find the gaps. And what's really hard whenever you're going against these different formations is you're trying to find those through balls, trying to find your wingers. And both these teams are playing very wide formations, and so they're also compacting very well.
Pius substitution, Mackenzie Nicolite.
So now Lincoln Pius X has a throw-in in their offensive third. See if they can garner anything out of that.
There's a shot near post. Eilers again is there.
That was a rocket off the foot of the Bolts. Really tried to send a lightning strike onto Eilers, as we'll see another shot at that. Just on the near post. And Eilers is ready for it.
Goes down officially as her third save. Free kick awarded in a dangerous position here for Pius at the 10-minute mark in the first half. As they move it back a little bit. A reminder that you're going to want to stay tuned for our halftime show, brought to you by Columbus Community Hospital, where your health is their top priority.
We saw a free kick earlier from Lincoln Pius. That one went over the net a little strong. Let's see if this one gets landed short.
Didn't go over the net, but went right into the hands of Eilers. Sixth shot on target for Pius here, to just one shot total for Lincoln East. And another this possession. And a chance for Pius. It takes a deflection and skitters wide, but that has been about the second or third time in the past 5 or 6 minutes where Lincoln East has had the ball taken from them on their back line when they're trying to get out of their own way. And it's that pressure that the Thunderbolts are applying and making it difficult for the Spartans to clear their line.
Yeah, Pius has done a great job at putting pressure on Lincoln East and making the Spartans do something while the Spartans are just holding on to it a little bit longer. They need to be a little bit quicker with their passes. But this sets up the second corner kick of the game, the second for Pius, and they have this on the near side here. They kept it low, trying to avoid the wind getting a hold of that one, but put it right into Lincoln East. And then just a mistouch there.
Well, we're under 8 minutes to go. Now's always a good time to remind our viewers, if you haven't yet, you should consider following us on X, formerly known as Twitter, as that shot goes well over the crossbar. At NCN Sports, that's the handle you're going to want to follow if you are a high school sports fan. We tweet out all of our highlights, interviews, game updates, articles, broadcast schedules, rankings, just about anything goes to that Twitter handle. And Elijah, we've been known to give new followers shout-outs during half times of broadcasts. So if you potentially want a shout-out on TV, be like the 11.5 thousand others who follow us at NCN Sports on Twitter.
Do I still get a shout-out if I unfollow then refollow?
You know, I don't know if we have an official rule for that situation. I'll have to think about that. I'm not going to say no. I'm not going to shut it down entirely right now.
Great movement. They are coming up, taking away that ball.
Again, Pius with their pressure creating opportunities, but that being said, East sort of bending but not breaking.
And that was just great foresight from Emily Krings, who came up there. She saw the ball coming, and she sprinted to get there first before Lincoln East could get their feet on it. That's a whole nother part to the game of soccer. Not only do you need to know where you're supposed to be, but you also got to see where that ball is about to go and have tremendous foresight.
Ball at the feet of Ella Eilers. And Ryder swings it over and switches the field. Now wait.
This game does have big implications all around for other schools vying for power points, because what's at play here is Lincoln East wins. Well, they'll stay a quad 1 team, which is a lot more power points awarded to the teams that they play, and Lincoln Pius could potentially drop down to a quad 2 team, which would take away power points from teams who have played them already this season. And so that's a huge play. They would likely both stay quad 1 teams, if I did my math correctly last night, if Pius were to come away with that. And so you see a lot of that happening, a lot of bubble play, and that all comes down to small games like this one.
In the current PowerPoint standings, it's Southwest 1, Marion 2, East 3, Pius 4, Kearney 5 is here as a shot. It's never going to be difficult for Miller, but gives her some action. Her first official save. Under 5 to play before half.
And Kearney defeated Norfolk 1-0 for the Silver Pool title, so they took 5th place in the HAC earlier today. Norfolk, another team who has had a surprisingly pretty good season there. for the Panthers.
Now Dickinson searching for the striker up top, which now appears to be Diedrich.
Pius has just done a really good job of taking what Lincoln East doesn't give them and taking it from them. They've been able to take opportunities and make them their own. They've also been putting that ball up through there, trying to let their strikers make an opportunity. But now Cade's going to have to go around 3 defenders.
She's running at this Pius back line, almost got it on her left foot. An excellent defending effort by the Bolts, and now they look to spring a counter of their own. Pass intercepted by Ryder.
Lincoln East just needs to get Cade some more touches on the offensive side for Lincoln East.
Well, stay tuned for our halftime highlights that are brought to you by Sartor Heyman Jewelers. At Sartor Heyman, they'll help make your jewelry dreams come true. Substitutes coming on. Engelman and Hirschberger for Lincoln East. Wachek back on for Pius, who is now playing up top after starting in the back line position. Again, we haven't seen Genevieve Sovereign, who went down with a little bit of a head injury after a hard collision. She was the starting striker for Pius. But now Wachek up top, and she actually was a striker, converted to defense this year because they moved her back in a time of need, and she did so well that Coach Anderson said, let's just keep you back here. But now going back to her original strength in the absence of Sovereign, she's in that lone striker spot for Pius.
And that's something you can do if you're Coach Anderson based on the way that this game's played out so far. You've had a lot of that possession control, and so putting one of your defenders up at the top line, try to give more of a strength up there, try to put some more pressure on East. That's a good move there from Coach Anderson, seeing how that game's developed and seeing a need and trying to replace it.
Look out. Opportunity for East going near post, and assistant referee has the offside flag up.
Really good opportunity, and I imagine we're probably going to get another look at it. Oh, there it is.
Brought to you by Beatrice Community Hospital. Or said offside, it was actually that the ball was out of play, excuse me. And so you had that great run by Eggett, creating a dangerous opportunity. Eggett, according to Coach Matthews, probably the fastest player on the pitch, pretty much in any game that's played, and we saw her speed on display there.
And now we have just 1 minute left here in the first half. Still 0-0. Very good ball game, very technical ball game, very sound. Not seeing a lot of breaks in their formation, not seeing a ton of opportunities break. Lincoln Pius has had a couple.
So with 15 seconds to go, it's going to be a scoreless first 40 minutes in the Heartland Athletic Conference Tournament Championship here on News Channel Nebraska. There's the whistle. 0-0, but plenty of action between these two local rivals. Pius and East tied at the break. Stay tuned. Our Columbus Community Hospital halftime show is coming up. Highlights, stats, and analysis all on the way right here on News Channel Nebraska.
Buy more, save more at Schaefer's. Right now, every time you add another appliance, you save more. With cashback rebates on top of Schaefer's everyday low prices. Save on our large selection of Whirlpool, Maytag, and KitchenAid appliances with up to $200 in rebates, including laundry pairs like the Maytag Pet Pro washer and Whirlpool front load pairs. Plus, there's free local delivery on qualified purchases. Buy more, save more at Schaefer's, 48th and R, Lincoln.
NCN Sports is brought to you by Western Oil, your first and last stop to and from the game. By USafe Pharmacy, dedicated to the well-being of all our customers. And by Zollner Ford Lincoln, proud to be your local Ford and Lincoln dealer.
Building innovation, creating opportunity. That's the Superior way. Superior Industries of Columbus is a key player in forming the world's infrastructure. Their innovative equipment is used to build roads, hospitals, utilities, and other fundamental systems. But it's their culture that encourages bold ideas, creating new opportunities for people like you. And they want you on their team. Visit workatsuperior.com to learn more about opportunities available. Positions that include weekly pay, complete benefits package, on-the-spot bonuses for exceptional work, and a fun working atmosphere. Working with the most advanced equipment and technology you can find. Join the Superior team today.
Welcome back. No score between Pius and Lincoln East after the first 40 minutes. Brandon Axmith, Elijah Mosier with you. Let's jump right in to our halftime highlights brought to you by Sartor Heyman Jewelers. Stunning engagement collections, exceptional diamonds, and dazzling gemstones can be found at either their Lincoln or Grand Island locations, located in downtown or at South Point in the capital city. So rivals battling, and it was the Thunderbolts who really in the opening 10 minutes provided all the pressure. This was the best chance for either team in the first half. Came from a shot. Excellent save by Emma Eilers to keep us level. That was about 15 minutes in. Another great opportunity it appeared to be for the Thunderbolts, but some excellent defending by Lincoln East, specifically Bella Bingham on that occasion. So we're all level, and Lincoln East, they didn't have as many opportunities. That was probably their best one. You had Kate Eggett making a run behind the defense. Ball went across the touchline. When you look at the official stats, Elijah, Pius with 8 shots, 6 on target, opposed to Lincoln East 2 shots with 1 on target. That tells sort of the story of the first 40 minutes.
Yeah, and you could tell, just watch that first half, Lincoln Pius has controlled the possession so far in this game, but I'd still say if you're Lincoln East, you still have this game about right where you want it. This is not a team that is these are not teams that are gonna full throttle and control one another. These are teams that are gonna play and wait for their opportunities to come to them, and they're gonna seek out their opportunities, and they're gonna try to make their opponent pay whenever an opportunity comes and they'll see it. We've seen that a couple times. One of them that I saw in the first half, Emily Krings had this opportunity where Pius was passing towards the middle of the field, and Krings stepped up, took that ball away, wasn't quite able to make anything happen with it. But that's what we're going to have to wait and see. Both these teams love to make a counterattack happen. Both these teams love to use their speed. And so far we haven't seen a team really sustain that third zone offensive pressure. It's been a lot of midfield play.
Well, we'll take a break, and we'll hear from one of our presenting sponsors, Liberty First Credit Union, helping make this broadcast possible.
NCN Sports is brought to you by Bank of the Valley. Bank of the Valley, together we go further. And by Bo's West Sports Bar and Grill, the best place to be after the game in Columbus.
Welcome to halftime here on News Channel Nebraska. You're watching high school sports on NCN, presented thanks to Liberty First Credit Union, which is where we are currently in Lincoln, Nebraska at Liberty First, 46th and R location. And joining us today is Angie Schreiner, Senior Vice President of Marketing with Liberty First. And Angie, this has now been several years running that Liberty First has been a supporter of high school sports here on News Channel Nebraska. And we're going to start with an easy one. How come Liberty First continues to support high school sports, not only in Lincoln, but across the state?
Yeah, we've been supporting events in our community since 1935 when we opened our doors. And high school sports is just a great way to bring joy of sports to anyone who loves it. Whether you're in the town that the team is playing in and you can't make it, or you live out of town and you want to watch a loved one, or there's just a specific team you want to follow and see how they're doing, this is a great avenue to do that. Plus, it's a great way to highlight and bring attention to the young talent that we have in our local schools.
Well, you talked about locally and the locations that you have. There's several in Lincoln, but you're not just limited to Lincoln as well. So where else is Liberty First in the state of Nebraska?
Yeah, so we have the 4 locations in Lincoln. We also have one in Seward and our newest one in Omaha. We just opened that one not too long ago, so we'd love for everyone to stop in, see us, and see some of the great things we're offering there.
They stop in, they see you. What is Liberty First currently offering, and what are some of the benefits that you guys currently have running?
Yeah, so we have 3 things that are really attention grabbers to anyone who stops in. One is our 5.5% APY checking account. That's Kasasa checking, and you earn that rate just by doing things you normally do with banking. And then we have auto loans as low as 4.99% APR with 2021 and newer. And then our credit card is a fixed rate credit card as low as 9.99, and you earn cash back. Who doesn't want a little more cash back, right? Especially today, you need that in your pocket. And that's what we're here to do, is help provide that cash back in your pocket, help provide extra dividends for you, anything to help make you more financially secure.
Well, Angie, lastly, before we let you go, we always want to talk about for the audience the difference between a credit union and a bank. What are the benefits of a credit union opposed to perhaps a bank?
Yeah, one of the major differences is that we're not for profit. What that really means is all of our profits we return to our members, and we get to do that through some of the great products like the Kasasa checking and the low rate auto loans and credit cards. Making sure that you have something to build yourself on and listening to you when you come in. Maybe you've had some financial barriers that prevented you from getting that win that you really want. That's what we're going to help you through, whether it's building your credit score or getting the auto loan or the house of your dreams. We're here to do that. We're going to listen to your whole story. That doesn't always happen at other institutions. We're not just going to look at the credit score and say yes or no. We want to hear what's going on in your life and why it's there. We really care about each member that walks in our door and how we can help them.
Angie, thank you so much for the time as always. Looking forward to continuing to work with Liberty First Credit Union here on News Channel Nebraska.
Thank you.
That's Angie Schreiner with Liberty First Credit Union, a presenting sponsor of high school sports here on News Channel Nebraska. Check them out at any of their 4 Lincoln locations or in Seward or West Omaha, or you can go to libertyfirstcu.com. I'm Brandon Axelmit. More high school sports coming up next.
Farming is no 9 to 5, and working safe is a must. This planting or spraying season, look up and look out for power lines. Stay 20 feet away and use caution when folding or unfolding equipment, because they're counting on you to be in the stands, to be at the dinner table, to come home safe. Nebraska Public Power District, always there when you need us.
Let your next adventure take flight in Sarpy County, Nebraska for some high-flying fun. Legendary family adventures. Out-of-this-world shopping. Star-studded evenings. And award-winning experiences. Our flights are never canceled. Stay, play, and plan your getaway at GoSarpy.com.
The Halftime Report on NCN is sponsored by Columbus Community Hospital, where your health matters.
Join in the next generation of great health at Columbus Fieldhouse, because strong families are vital to a strong community. With the region's most state-of-the-art facility, there's room for fitness, fun, and friends. There's space for all sports: tennis, football, soccer, volleyball, basketball, or golf. Or lace up to try out the track. And on-site services provided by Columbus Community Hospital keep you in the best shape. Be a part of something extraordinary and join us today in taking the next step to a stronger future.
NCN Sports is brought to you by Currency. Visit GoCurrency.com for details. By Central Nebraska Orthopedics, dedicated to the motion of life. And by Region 4 Behavioral Health, quality mental health and substance abuse services.
Welcome back here to Seacrest. All tied as we prepare for the second half of the Girls Heartland Athletic Conference Tournament Championship. Brandon Axtman and Elijah Mosier with you. You'd certainly say Pius was more in control in the opening 40 minutes. Will be interesting to see what changes, if any, Spartan head coach Emily Matthew makes coming out for this final 40 minutes.
Yeah, going to be interesting to see what we're in store over the second half. But one of the big things to keep in mind is to watch that wind. In the first half, we saw that Pius had the wind at their backs when they were attacking. And so we'll see how that shifts heading into the second half. Currently, it's looking like it'll be at the advantage of Lincoln East.
So again, the stats unofficial, but the stats we have here in the first half: 8 shots, 6 on target for Pius. You had Miller making 1 save. It wasn't a difficult one. For Lincoln East, they had 2 shots, 1 on target, 4 saves made by Emma Eilers, and a couple, specifically one that was highlight reel material and certainly kept this thing from being 1-0 Pius.
If we're being honest here, Pius definitely should be up 1-0 because after that initial play, that follow-up opportunity had a wide open net in front of it.
You have Dickinson going at that back line. Ball right at the 18 for a shot with the left. Rebound and excellent reflexes by Eilers to hop on it and keep this thing at 0. Well worth another look.
And how about that quick look from our replay team down there in the booth? They were on that one.
Shot coming from Vacek. Eilers again answering the call.
And it all started with a 2v2 opportunity for Pius on the offensive side of things. And then the help came, and they played that through ball behind the first person. They played it for the second, and it opened up an opportunity for the Bolts. That's what each of these teams are going to have to do if they want to put one on the board. They're going to have to play through the gaps that the opponent provides them.
Chance here for Pius to potentially switch the field. That one over the head of Vacek. But it goes out of play off Ella Eilers. Pius throw.
So Pius is picking right up where they left the first 40 minutes off at. And they have an opportunity in the attacking zone for another throw in. Looks like they're just going to play this one short.
There's the heavy touch, goes out for a goal kick.
And if you look at how Pius is set up, they're very spread out right now. They're looking to spread Pius out, who's trying to keep it contained in the middle a little bit more, as East is going to have to play these gaps.
Elijah, I nearly forgot that I promised shout-outs for those who follow us at NCN Sports at halftime. We missed halftime, but I'm not going to miss the shout-outs. So Keegan Weirwine giving us a follow at NCN Sports. Mandera Geoflay also giving us a follow. Wyatt Nyrodzik, I didn't want to butcher that one, and Kyle Hirschberger, all following us at NCN Sports. We promise you won't regret it.
Plenty of great content, and you can never go wrong with following somebody. You always pick up more information than you need. There's a reason why I spend more time than anything else during my day on Twitter.
It is quite handy for sports journalists, broadcasters, and of course, if you want to know what games we'll be televising, it's all right there for you. We mentioned the fact that obviously the HAC Girls Championship right now. Be sure to stay tuned. 7 o'clock tomorrow night. Boys HAC final live from Norfolk. And we'll be continuing to televise things throughout the spring, and it's all capped off by state track in Omaha in a few weeks. Collision in the middle of the pitch. Lincoln East unable to capitalize on a potential counter opportunity.
What Lincoln East might want to try next time they get the ball, as we have a stoppage of time. Looks like we have an injured Spartan.
And so it's Layla Nachi who's able to jog off the pitch. And as she does, Hirschberger will come on and before we resume play.
So what I was trying to say before that all happened is what East might want to try, now that they got the wind at their back, maybe try getting that ball up in the air, try to get it moving, try to change the side of the field where that ball is at. Maybe to see if they can open up an opportunity for Cade that way.
Intercepted, now Harper Ross with it. That's going to be a Pius throw. A good duel, no whistle. Chance for East to break here.
I like that. A referee's just letting them play on, let it be a little bit of a physical game as long as he establishes a line down the point if it gets any more physical. I love that from the referee, knowing that soccer is a physical game, and now we see a 3-on-2 opportunity. Got to make sure you cross that ball over.
Great opportunity for Pius, and the shot goes. You had Tatum Hymas basically unmarked, and Pius just unable to take advantage.
Yeah, that one, you had a 3-on-2 opportunity. Only used 2 of your players. You got to find a way to get all 3 involved, because if you make that pass to the left, there's a good chance that that one might end up in the back of the net. And that might just be a communication thing. I'm not sure if there was anything said up there on the field, but if there wasn't anything, that's where you need to speak up. Ask for that ball to come to you, because that was a big opportunity that you could have had.
Chance here for East. A blistering run forward by Eggett. Takes 3 defenders to slow her down, but one back by Ross. East still in possession. Ross showing off the footwork and attempting the cross, but it goes out of play.
And that time the Bolts just swarmed around the Spartans, and they did have an opportunity if they were able to ever get across over the field onto that near side. They would have had Burhoop, down there on that near side. She was open, but just couldn't ever get that cross open because East didn't allow her to be open.
Shot from distance doesn't bother Miller. Goes down as the second on target for the Spartans. 3rd shot of the match. Again, to Pius's 10. The Bolts with 7 on target.
Interesting dynamic as we've seen the half start. East has possessed the ball a little bit more, but we've seen East be susceptible to these counterattacks that Pius has been able to start. They haven't been able to finish yet, but it's looking like they might be able to find a way to get to the back of the net through a counterattack, because East is finding a way to sustain possession, which they were in the first half. It's an interesting dynamic, but that's the way it appears to be playing out.
For the most part, you have to credit the Pius back line because you have two great forwards in Eggett and Cade that haven't been overly involved in the attack. Pius has been able to keep them quiet, and you look at Cade's 12 goals and Eggett's 8, 20 between the two. That's no easy task.
And that's an underrated play that just happened. Way to get to that ball, kick it out, make it a throw-in instead of a corner kick for Lincoln East. And then they just caught Lincoln East offside. So I think Pius is really liking what they've seen through this first 10 minutes of the half. They find a way to get opportunities. I also think Lincoln East likes what they've been seeing. They both are seeing opportunities start to come out if they can take advantage.
Ten minutes gone in the second half. About a half hour remaining in regulation. We're still knotted up at 0 here in the Girls Heartland Athletic Conference championship match between Lincoln East and Pius the 10th. Brandon Axman, Elijah Mosier with you. Glad you're with us on News Channel Nebraska for some Thursday night soccer in the capital city.
And don't forget that their first matchup this season went to extra time as well before Lincoln East put that one away. I wouldn't be shocked if we saw a similar thing tonight. I also wouldn't be shocked if only one goal would decide this one. These midfielders have been playing really hard. The back lines have not given much up.
Pius launching another attack here. Ball at the feet of Krings. And just a little miscommunication there on where her teammate was. Pius takes over as Burhoop sends it forward. Lincoln East, rather. Now Pius with the possession.
Got to find a way to lead your teammate, not just pass to where they're standing. Try to pass to them where you want them to be. Try to see those gaps take place on the field. That's what's going to open up an opportunity.
Lincoln East free kick awarded, or rather Pius free kick. Near midfield, it'll be taken by Stoiter. I don't think she has quite enough leg on this one, but she was the one, notched her first goal of the season as a freshman into the semifinal. That was the difference in Pius's victory over Lincoln Southwest, giving the Silverhawks their first loss of the season.
And that was a good boot, too. Got all the way into the box.
.28 left here in the second half. This second half is brought to you by Husker Rehab, our second half sponsor here on News Channel Nebraska. Treating the cause of the pain, not just the symptoms.
Good attempt there from Lincoln East, trying to play that ball forward. Fortunately, it goes all the way out for a Pius goal kick. But that's what they need to do more. They need to take advantage of how that wind's playing. Of course, that one was a ground attack. But just try to play that forward. Try to give your strikers an opportunity to make something happen on the offensive end, because they haven't had much of an opportunity to touch that ball today.
Nachi, Engelman, and Alfonso all check in for Lincoln East. Mackenzie Nicolite subs in for Pius. And you hear the roars from the Lincoln East bench. They are encouraging their teammates on the pitch for anything and everything, and that's what you like to see in high school sports, and they know what's at stake, and whether you're playing or on the sidelines at the time, you want to come out of here with that hardware.
Gotta love the roar of the teammates cheering you on. letting you know that they're there, want you to compete, want you to know that to step up, and also giving notes of encouragement too.
And a half, 26 and a half rather remaining. A reminder that high school sports on News Channel Nebraska is presented by Currency, which makes financing quick, easy, and secure for machinery, ag equipment, and more. Visit gocurrency.com for details.
And Lincoln East will have a chance to possess the ball. So now Lincoln East with an opportunity here in the attacking zone for the Spartans. Got that ball up there. Got to find a way if they can cross it over. Nice touch there from Pius to take it away.
And do we have a penalty awarded? I think it was right outside the box. Eggett ran through, and it will be a free kick, not a penalty kick, but still an opportunity for the Spartans as we look at the replay.
And that was the right call, too, as we're going to see it just stood out there, kind of hung out her leg, and this is going to be a free kick for the Spartans, and this is a dangerous opportunity. Lincoln East going to have to see if they can play this correctly. Going to have to aim more towards that back post.
So Cade to take the kick. And just short of overshot that one. You probably, if you're Coach Matthews, hoping for a little better opportunity off the kick. But Pius comes out unscathed from that dangerous opportunity.
And so that's exactly where we stay, 0-0 with 24 minutes left. And I don't think Pius minds the foul that was given. They defended it very well. They didn't have many open heads open for the Spartans inside the box on that play. But it allows them to get back to what they're doing. They are playing a very wide formation. They're playing through their gaps a lot better. And they're opening opportunities just like this one.
Strong challenge. All ball was won, so no whistle. Pius, though, still with possession.
That was a beautiful tackle from Ryder. Just stood right in there. Did not let that ball advance any further.
And look out, a real opportunity off the head of Himes. And she was offside, so wouldn't have counted, but for a moment looked like a dangerous position for the Bolts.
For a moment, I didn't know how she wasn't offsides, but just couldn't corral that ball. So even if she wasn't, just couldn't quite get a firm control and a firm foot on that ball.
Lincoln East now at Eggett. But you have excellent defending by Colm, who is calm under pressure.
That touch just got too far in front of her just by a little bit. If she would have been kept it a little bit smaller, she would have had a pass up high to Cade where she was coming across the top end. And she didn't have anybody coming with her. But just unfortunately just got a little too much on it.
Drawn back to Norris Stewart. Now Colm carries it forward from the back line. A little bit too heavy off of Hodges' feet. Now Lincoln East. with possession. Hirschberger has a good pass to play in Cade. So things opening up a little bit more here as both teams trying to find that difference as we near halfway through this second half. A couple of substitutions. Giles in for Lincoln East. And it's Dickinson back in for Pius.
Good read there from Pius. Stepped up, took away that throw in, and then cleared that ball out. Almost sounds like a track meet out there, cheering on their teammates to get to that ball faster.
Now there's some space in the middle of the pitch. Krings going right around the defender. Pius trying to cross a little bit too close to the goal, and Eilers is there to take it away.
That's a nice learning opportunity for Pius. They got a good offensive attack going. They crossed it over, but Eilers stepped right up to take that one away. Now Spartans trying to get something of their own as they fire a shot.
That one coming from Nachi. Officially halfway done with the second 40 minutes of regulation. 0-0 your score on the Aurora Cooperative scoreboard. High school sports on News Channel Nebraska is presented by Currency. Glad you're with us. Brandon Axmith and Elijah Mosier. Seacrest Field 2024 Girls Heartland Athletic Conference Tournament Championship between Pius and Lincoln East here on News Channel Nebraska.
And one thing that's important to note about this field here at Seacrest is the dimensions they're playing on are the dimensions of Morrison Stadium over in Omaha, where the state championships will be played. A lot of times you'll see a lot of high schools play on their high school football field, and they don't get that full width across. But here at Seacrest, they got that full width of a regulation soccer field, and so these are what teams are going to play with at state, and it's an advantage to play here, and you're going to see a lot of what you're going to see at Morrison right here.
Dickinson with the interception. Footwork by Giles, dropping it back now to Ryder. Over to Engelman.
Should look forward to Cade. Cade's open on the north side. There she goes. Got to find that gap down low again.
Gets past one, heavy touch. Out of play. And it'll be a goal kick.
And we saw that time. Cade was sitting on the top side, isolated, not anybody around her. And the Spartans recognized that, got the pass up to her. She just couldn't find her way to get to one of her teammates down closer to the middle of the field. And the Spartans are going to need a lot more of that to sustain some offensive pressure.
It's a hopeful shot that bounces to Miller. And free kick is awarded to Pius. Always an interesting dynamic, not uncommon, but you know, you're obviously rivals. You're playing your high school soccer matchup, but a lot of these girls know each other and play on the same teams for club. So talking to both coaches, they said, you know, there's a mutual respect and understanding, even though when you have your school colors on, you're obviously wanting to win and be able to have that sort of rivalry that you can hold over what you might call teammates in another scenario.
It's always a fun thing next time you get to see them again. Hey, remember that match we just played? Yeah, I beat you.
Oh, Lincoln East. Opportunity here. Hard shot was blocked. Cade got a lot of force behind that one. Good positioning by that Pius back line.
And so East is starting to widen out their formation here when they get to the offensive side of things. I'm seeing 5 across that far side, and it allows them opportunities if they can get the ball into those gaps.
Eggett's going to try to get to this one. Does an excellent job. Pius, calm, cool, and collected. Counter may be on here, just a little bit too heavy of a touch from Krings. Hard to say who it will be at this point, all knotted up at 0, but be sure to stay tuned for our coach's post-game interview brought to you by Sarpy County Tourism. Stay, play, and plan your getaway at GoSarpy.com. We'll be talking to either Coach Anderson for Pius or Coach Matthews for Lincoln East, depending on how things shake out here in the HAC championship match.
And if you're even trying to ask me who has the upper hand, who has the edge so far in this matchup, I don't think I could give you it, because these teams have played so even. While Pius controls the shots on net so far, East has had some great opportunities in the second half as well. I'd put this about as 50 as you can get.
These two teams here, not two of the top teams clearly in the conference for getting it to this point, but two of the top teams in the state, sitting 3 and 4 in power points currently in Class A. Talked about the fact that Lincoln Pius had to earn its way to get here. Lincoln Southwest, the perennial favorite, undefeated in the semifinal. Well, that was until they ran into Pius. Pius had lost to them earlier in the season, but avenged that in the semis, 1-0 in overtime to get to this match. And good positioning there by Ryder.
And a very important thing to keep in mind the later this match goes, and if it does go into extra time, Pius did play that match against Lincoln Southwest yesterday. Meanwhile, Lincoln East beat Columbus on Tuesday night. So the attrition in the legs for Lincoln Pius might be a little bit more tired the later this game goes, and that might open up opportunities for Lincoln East.
Well, and to your point, not only did they play more recently, but they have more minutes in their legs because it went to overtime, as opposed to Lincoln East, who finished their match in regulation. 13 minutes and change to go.
And you don't see a ton of back-to-back games in soccer. A lot of times when you play those 80 minutes, you're going to need those minutes to rest, especially at least a day. It was no problem for Lincoln Southwest in the third-place match earlier today. They took care of Columbus 2-0. But it might play a factor in this game. You never know. All it takes is one break and one ball to bounce the right direction.
Burhoop back on for the Spartans. As Bingham swings it now at the feet of Eilers. Missed pass. Opportunity here for Pius.
That was a good play to the top side. Got to find a way to work it back to the middle now. Good cut back.
Hymas gives it a crack. A little bit too much under it.
She saw the opportunity, and that was a great job from Pius to take advantage of that field. They got it up to cut back. The pass to the middle, and then, of course, Tatum Hines made that powerful shot over the top of the net. Also a good reminder that Lincoln Pius X is seeking their first ever HAC championship before they head back to Class B next year, and that would be a good thing to cement your final season in the HAC with.
Look out, shot low and hard coming from Cade. Miller's there.
And now you're going to see the intensity and aggressiveness pick up from both these squads. They're not going to let any easy attempts go by.
Interesting, too. Cade right now, typically your forward. She sort of dropped back into more of a center attacking mid-roll. And a tactical switch here by Coach Matthews, perhaps to create more offensive opportunities. And there's the ball into her.
And that's just good defense there from the Bolts.
Another East substitution, Nachi back on. Under 10 to play here in Seacrest Field in Lincoln, Nebraska. 0-0 between Lincoln East and Lincoln Pius in the girls' HAC championship match.
East still with that wind at their back on the attacking side, and so Pius taking that free kick in the wind. It got a hold of it a little bit and sent it to the Spartans, and now the Bolts right back to where they started.
Himes with some room to run up this near side. Good square ball. Excellent defense by Waite for the Spartans.
Look at Pius just sticking with it. Good challenges from East, but Pius not letting the ball go very easily. And they've done a really good job at shutting down McKinley Cade too. She hasn't had a lot of room to make her cuts and put a really good shot on net.
Under 8 minutes to go. Will there be a winner in regulation? Or are we going to extra time? Those unfamiliar with Nebraska high school soccer rules, as there's a dangerous ball in, takes a deflection, it goes out for a throw, but you play 2 10-minute overtime periods. Regardless if there's a goal in the first 10 minutes or not, it's 20 extra minutes of soccer. As we get another look at the Beatrice Community Hospital replay. And after the overtime periods, if we're still tied, it's penalty kicks.
And what we just saw out that replay was Himes stuck in there and shut down. And not only did she have the awareness to shut down that opportunity, she got it out of bounds on the sideline, creating a throw-in for Lincoln East versus an opportunity off the corner kick. And it's always smarter whenever you're in that back line, if you can get that ball back to your keeper or if you can get out on the sideline. Anytime you have to get it out off the baseline, that's very dangerous. Good step up to take control from the Thunderbolts. Gets that ball back up now. Beautiful pass between the legs, too.
Pius with a 5-on-4. And a shot from distance. It goes in. Deflection off the keeper, and it rolls across the line. Pius takes the lead with 6:20 to play.
Now, I talked about it. You're going to need a break to go your way. You're going to need the ball to bounce your way. And that time, you saw it. Emma Eilers couldn't quite corral that ball completely, and it had a nice spin on that ball, which put it into the back of the net. But now if you're Pius, you got to refocus yourself. You got to have the awareness because there's still 6 minutes and 23 seconds left in this game.
Kate Vocek, her 7th goal of the season, coming in the 74th minute to give the Bolts the lead. And at this point, Lincoln East, they're going to have to get bodies forward and try to find that equalizer.
And that's hard to do whenever you have Pius and the Thunderbolts already in the offensive third again. They're not letting that pressure go. And they're actually going to call a foul on Pius there.
So it's going to be an intense final 5.5 minutes here at Seacrest. A late goal by Vocek. Trying to win the conference tournament for the first time. Free kick is awarded and a yellow card issued to the Spartans. It goes against Bingham.
And she'll have to come off the field, too. That's one of the center backs for Lincoln East. That's very important as you're down 1 with 5.5 minutes to go. And you're Coach Coach Matthews. And so now Pius has that free kick with a chance to end on an insurance goal.
One is from 37 yards out, get on. Dangerous ball and dealt with by Eilers.
And now you have to get going. If you're Lincoln East, there's no time to wait. Got to make quick passes, got to see this ball move forward. They got to find a way to get wider because what they're doing is they're so tight in that Pius is able to collapse on it.
We have Holm clearing that one away. Subs coming on. Clock stops here at 4:38 for the substitutes. Pius, it's McCabe. And Vocek back on. Engelman for Lincoln East. Dangerous cross sent in by Eggett. Dangerous shot, just not quite enough pace on it. You had Waite trying to go to that far post.
That's what Lincoln East, they need opportunities to try to finish this one, to try to tie this game back up. You hadn't like to see that hustle that they've come out with. They're down 1, they had 5 minutes to go, and they've put that ball into that offensive third, and they've done a good job of trying to sustain that offensive zone. But they're going to need to find the back of the net if they want this one to continue on.
3.5 to play. Ball knocked up to Nachi. Pius seeing if they can win their first ever HAC tournament in their last year they're in the conference for the foreseeable future as they prepare to drop back down to Class B. Knocked off Lincoln Southwest, handing the Silverhawks their first loss of the season in the semis. They're now in the final and 3 minutes away if they can hold on. Kate Vodchek's goal in the 74th minute, currently the difference.
Lincoln East doing an excellent job trying to move that ball forward. But Pius has been really stiff on that defensive end. The last time Pius surrendered a goal was April 4th in their last loss to Lincoln Southwest.
These teams met first game of the season. It was a 3-1 victory for the Spartans in overtime. Pius avenged its loss to Southwest in the semis. Could it avenge both of its losses on this season here in the HAC tournament? The clock continues to wind down, getting closer and closer as a free kick's awarded to Lincoln East.
And you can see Lincoln East calling their entire roster forward, trying to get an opportunity.
Miller will take her time here. Getting closer to a minute to go.
What a win this would be for Lincoln Pius attempt that they've really found their stride in the last couple weeks.
East getting everyone forward now. Hoping for a miracle. 45 seconds trying to find the equalizer. Ryder winning it back, 30 seconds to go. They get a hard shot, it's deflected. East may have one more chance if they're lucky. They're gonna have to hurry. Ball cleared out of play and quick throw in taken. 5 seconds. Free kick awarded and that will seal it. Final whistle. Pius gets the victory over Lincoln East in the Heartland Athletic Conference Tournament Final, 1-0. A 74th minute goal by Kate Vodchek. The difference as Pius wins its first HAC tournament title.
And what a redemption tour it was for Lincoln Pius attempt. They took advantage of this tournament to avenge their earlier losses this season. And this is one of the top teams, and they are going to be hunting for a championship in Morrison.
Excitement for the Bolts, and well-deserved. They have made a statement here at the HAC tournament, taking down Southwest and now Lincoln East to claim the title. Stay with us. Our post-game show is coming up next. We'll talk to Coach Anderson and our player of the game.
You're proud of the community you live in. Taking care of the people in it isn't a job, it's an honor. At John Henry's, we take pride in being relied upon by the great people of Lincoln and the surrounding areas. A hard day's work means a happy customer, and making happy customers has been our goal all along. A team of expert plumbers, drain specialists, and HVAC professionals. dedicated to finding solutions for our customers. Because for us, a successful day ends with a handshake and a smile. John Henry's, our family serving yours.
Your ultimate hangout spot, Bo's West in Columbus, where big flavors and good times unite. Sink your teeth into our famous juicy burgers, mouth-watering wings, and enjoy our diverse menu options while playing Keno and pickle cards. Check out our beer garden, complete with refreshing adult slushies, ice cream, and Capri Suns. And for those with a thirst for more, our fully stocked liquor store is just around the corner. Why limit your happiness when you can enjoy it all day at Bo's West in Columbus? Because when it comes to good times, we're the heart of it all.
NCN Sports is brought to you by Husker Rehab, treating the cause of the pain, not just the symptoms. By Schaefer's, we are more than just TVs and appliances. And by Claybaugh Pharmacy, your locally owned hometown pharmacy.
Women have a 1 in 8 chance for developing breast cancer. Early detection makes a difference. Beatrice Community Hospital's Imaging Center can help with the latest technology, from screening with 3D mammography, breast MRI, breast ultrasound, and breast biopsy. All services conveniently located in the BCH's Imaging Center. Schedule your screening today. Incredible care, incredibly close.
Whether we're talking commercial or residential plumbing, Lamel Plumbing is the place you call. Lamel provides 24-hour emergency service as well. Call them if you get in a tight spot. And as for their retail items, well, you gotta check out some of their faucets, some of their kitchen items, and some of their bathroom items like their Onyx showers. And hey, say you got a digging job, you call Lamel Plumbing for that too. They've added a full-time crew for you, doing backhoe, trenching, and sewer work. Take that digging job off your list and have Lamel do it for you. That's Lamel Plumbing in Beatrice, now at their new location on North 7th Street in Beatrice.
NCN Sports is brought to you by Western Oil, your first and last stop to and from the game. By USafe Pharmacy, dedicated to the well-being of all our customers. And by Zollner Ford Lincoln, proud to be your local Ford and Lincoln dealer.
Champions are crowned each year in Lincoln. All of us at Visit Lincoln welcome the athletes, families, and fans from across Nebraska to our community. When the final whistle blows and the game ends, make sure to discover how Lincoln can make your stay even more memorable. Stop by the Visitors Center at 7th and P in the Haymarket or visit us on the web at lincoln.org. Visit Lincoln is a proud supporter of high school athletics.
Experience what banking local feels like. Bank of the Valley is owned and managed by the people within our community. This means our decisions are made right here by people who care about you and the communities we serve. Knowing our customers personally helps our experienced team provide the best solutions as your banking needs and goals change. Stop into our newest branch in Schuyler, Nebraska, or visit any of our other bank locations in person or online. Bank of the Valley. Together, we go further.
NCN Sports is brought to you by Bank of the Valley. Bank of the Valley, together we go further. And by Bo's West Sports Bar and Grill, the best place to be after the game in Columbus.
A new year, a fresh start, a resolution to grow more, gain more, give more. The process is the same: plant, grow, harvest. But the way you do it is always evolving. And so are we, Aurora Cooperative. Grow, gain, give. Aurora and you.
Welcome back here to Seacrest Field. Pius, your HAC champs. Let's jump right into the top plays, brought to you by Currency, which makes financing quick, easy, and secure for machinery, ag equipment, and more. Visit GoCurrency.com. Battle for A Street with some added stakes between these two capital city rivals. It's the Heartland Athletic Conference Tournament Championship between Pius and Lincoln East. These two teams met earlier in the season, first match of the season. Spartans came out on top 3-1 in overtime. Pius with the best chance early on. Excellent save by Emma Eilers of Lincoln East. That was about 15 minutes into the match. Eilers able to keep it level with her heroics. Another great chance for Pius. Looked like they were clean through, and you had Krings trying to get the shot. Excellent defense by the back line, specifically Bella Bingham of the Spartans on that occasion. Rounding out the first half, you had a good chance as Kate Eggett got behind the back line, but ball went out of touch, so we are scoreless at halftime. Pius continuing to apply pressure in that second half. Hard shot by Vasek. You had the follow-up by Himes, but Eilers again there. She had 5 saves on the match to keep things level. Pius with a cross. Eilers again there when she needed to be. So we are still scoreless heading into the final 10 minutes of the match. These teams deadlocked, unsure if we'd go into overtime or not. Well, that changed when Kate Vasek put her foot through that ball. It skitters across the line in the 74th minute. The 7th goal of the season for the senior. That was the difference. Pius avenges its loss to Lincoln and hosts the HAC tournament plaque for the first time in its history. 1-0 your score. Bolts over the Spartans. Stay with us. We have Coach Anderson standing by. I'll talk to our Nebraska Orthopedic Center player of the game, and we will wrap up our coverage here from Lincoln when we return.
Join in the next generation of great health at Columbus Fieldhouse, because strong families are vital to a strong community. With the region's most state-of-the-art facility, there's room for fitness, fun, and friends. There's space for all sports: tennis, football, soccer, volleyball, basketball, or golf. Or lace up to try out the track. And on-site services provided by Columbus Community Hospital keep you in the best shape. Be a part of something extraordinary and join us today in taking the next step to a stronger future.
Liberty First Credit Union. It's for you. You live in Nebraska or the surrounding states? Then it's for you. Want to earn cash back on your transactions? Then it's for you. Are you ready to start banking with purpose? Then Liberty First Credit Union? It's for you. We're not your typical credit union. We support you with personalized banking that's open to everyone. Start banking with purpose at Liberty First Credit Union. We're for you.
NCN Sports is brought to you by Currency. Visit GoCurrency.com for details. By Central Nebraska Orthopedics, dedicated to the motion of life. And by Region 4 Behavioral Health, quality mental health and substance abuse services.
Woodhouse GMC is bringing you more. With every new GMC purchase from Woodhouse, we're including 3 years of scheduled maintenance. Plus, with our current lease offers going on now, you'll save even more. Woodhouse GMC, we are professional grade.
At first, I was really nervous and intimidated to buy a ring.
My experience at Starter Heyman was very easy. I felt like I walked out with the ring that was going to make her go wow and say yes.
I love my ring. It is so beautiful. I get compliments on it all the time. I always tell them Starter Heyman. I love it. Yeah, we would definitely recommend Starter Heyman.
We're definitely coming back.
We have a wedding band to buy. So.
We do, yes. The wedding bands will be back for that.
Starter Heyman Jewelers, downtown 12th and O, South Point Pavilions, and Grand Island.
Does your business need quick, competitive financing for heavy machinery, trucks, or other equipment? Currency is here to help. Whether you're financing construction equipment, farm equipment, trucks, trailers, or any other big-ticket item, Currency will automatically find the best rates. Currency facilitates loans for up to $500,000 with repayment terms up to 72 months. It's fast, easy, and free to use. Visit GoCurrency.com and apply today.
Welcome back to Seacrest Field, the Pius Thunderbolts. Head coach Anderson, Vasek, and the team behind me pretty excited because they have just won their first ever HAC title as a program. Coach Anderson, we'll start with you. How you feeling about that?
This is a great group of young women to coach. I'm just glad to be a part of whatever they're putting together, and it's always a nice experience being on the field with them. They're so creative. I'm just glad I could be a part of it.
Pretty intense game. winner came in the 74th minute. What do you think led to the success and ultimately getting the result today?
You know, just keep trying, keep relying on each other out there on the field, the 11 and everybody else on the bench. These girls just trust each other. They put each other in very good positions. When somebody gets down a little bit, somebody will step up. It's a nice team that's coming together at the right time.
Lincoln East, they beat you to start the season. You beat them now. What does that say about how much growth this team's made throughout the season?
We started out kind of young. We replaced a lot of players who were very good players last year, but we had some young ones that were ready to step into their shoes, and they're doing it, and I think we can go a little bit further than they did last year. That's our challenge.
Well, not only did you beat East here, but you also handed Southwest its first loss of the season. I feel like that's sort of a statement for what this team can do in Class A.
Well, I appreciate that. I think we're a pretty good Class A team, and we look forward to playing everybody else down the road.
Lastly, we're going to talk to Kate. Talk about not only what she did today, but what does she offer this team, match in, match out?
You know, match in, match out, her energy, her drive, she just makes everybody else want to be a motor like her. She sets that tone. She set it in the off season. This team and everybody else like Kate here, they started this season all the way back. October we started rolling. It just keeps rolling and rolling, and we're going to go all the way to Omaha, right? Mm-hmm. All right.
Coach, thank you and best of luck with that. Let's bring in our Nebraska Orthopedic Center player of the game, Kate Vosek. The winning goal, yes, Kate. 74th minute winner. Walk us through what happened on that play.
Well, it was like the slowest ball ever to go in, and just ran in. Grace had a great cross and shot it and deflected off the goalie, and it felt like time just stopped, and it just rolled so slow over the line.
Seventh goal of the season. Where does this one rank on the 7 goals you've scored? Number one?
Number one.
Walk us through sort of your, I don't know if it's evolution the right word, but what you offer this team. You play up top, you sort of play mid at times, some defense. Coach says you're sort of all over the pitch. Why do you do that, and what allows you to play in that way?
Just making sure, I don't know, the leader for this team. I've been played on this team for 4 years, so just holding everyone else accountable, and I know if I work hard and put in that, then they'll see it, and they'll play that same way too, and it's just kind of, I think it's up to me to keep the tone set of the game and just make sure everyone's head is where it needs to be.
As a leader, with your team behind you, supporting you, what does it mean that you did something that Pius has never done before by winning this?
It just means so much and shows what a talented group of girls I have to play with. And they're a young group, so it's going to be awesome to see what they can do in the future years. And it's so good we beat 2 teams back-to-back 2 days in a row, and I'm so excited to see what we do the rest of the season.
Well, Kate, congratulations, enjoy it, and best of luck on your trip to Morrison.
Thank you so much.
That's Kate Vosek, the Pius Thunderbolts. They are your HAC winners, and we might be, maybe, you can do that if you want to. Pius, HAC champs here in the capital city. A huge victory over Lincoln East, handing Lincoln Southwest its first loss of the season. The Bolts are excited, as they should be. That will do it for us here at Seacrest, but we hope you enjoyed our live coverage of the HAC Championship. Remember, boys HAC final live from Norfolk tomorrow. Southwest taking on the Panthers. We'll be live at 6:50 Central. Kaylin Debin and Luke Stara will have the call for that one. I'm Brandon Axelman. Thanks, as always, to our terrific production crew, Danny Alvarado in the truck, as well as Tyler Lechner and Connor Libby, our great camera operators. For Elijah Mosier with me in the booth, we'll plan on seeing you in Norfolk for more HAC soccer on Friday.
We now join regular programming on News Channel Nebraska.